The image of language to me is like a big old red gum tree that used to stretch across Victoria, and it was flourishing. When the city started to get built, it was chopped down. The tree itself is culture, the language is the roots.
Hello.
Do you want me to do it first?
Yeah.
Okay. Beladum Nyan Wangat, Naranik Mandi, Waranjeri Wilmik, Waranjeri Balakut, Mundanai Murukkalada Pirarang, Mundanai Jajaburang, Ba Nurailmurang, Ba German。
我叫 Carrie， 咁我中文名就叫羅嘉麗。我喺澳洲長大嘅，13歲嗰陣時候就跟屋企人移民過嚟澳洲，咁直至到依家都仍然為咗語言嘅工作嚟到發展。依家我目前咧就係喺維省一間政府嘅語言學校做個工作咧，就係 area manager 管理語言咯。
I do a lot of different things. I've got my feet in a lot of different doors. I've got an archaeological degree, and I've also worked in language revival. My language is Woiwurrung, and it's the language of pretty much most of the Melbourne region. It's a language, unfortunately, that isn't spoken by anyone fluently anymore. So what my job that I'm finding is a really good way to wake this language up is through dance and song creation in the language, and really enabled me to jump forward in leaps and bounds in terms of getting language back to my communities.
I came from Hong Kong. The native language in Hong Kong is Cantonese. When I came to Australia, I learned English. When I went to uni, Chinese Mandarin was one of my major.
It's really beautiful that your community and your country speak different languages. The difference with Aboriginal languages is we're an oral history, we're an oral language, so none of it was written down, and it passed between different mobs. Like, for example, women were of age to get married, that woman would have to take on the language of their husband. If you're in your own community, your own language group, you grow up knowing that language, but then when you're an adult, you learn your husband's language, but you also have your grandparents' languages.
China government is encouraging that everyone should be, speaking, learning Chinese Mandarin, the official language of the country. But within the China or even Hong Kong, we have our own little, dialect as well, but then it's spoken only within those communities. We are always coming across with the difficulties of continuing those dialects as well. And, because from my background, Cantonese is also important. If people are looking into Chinese history in Australia, people will know that, the first group of, Chinese gold miners who came to, Victoria, they were mostly coming from Canton, which is, Cantonese spoken province.
In Australia and all around the world in the 1800s, First Nations mobs, our culture, our language, our customs was pagan. People tried to Christianise them. One ironic thing with our languages around the world, a lot of the languages have come back with the assistance of translations in Bibles. I thought that's quite ironic and quite funny because we're bringing it back through something that tried to destroy it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Between Chinese Mandarin and Cantonese, only the spoken is different. In terms of writing, we are still using the same grammar. In terms of the characters, Hong Kong and Taiwan are still using traditional characters, and the rest of the world are using simplified characters. The simplified characters was introduced in 1950s because it will be much easier for the Chinese people in China to learn how to read and write. When it comes to another language, there is a journey for us to travel in order for us to master it. When I came over to Australia, I'll be trying to use something in Chinese in my head, and then I will try to directly translate that into English when I speak. The difficulties is there still, but I guess, it will improve.
I was born on country in Hillsville, but in my teenage years, we moved for Dad's work. The school wasn't a really good experience for me, so there was a big hole missing in my life. So I eventually moved back to country, And there was something that was there that I couldn't grasp. And then I started working at a cultural centre and I found a book with my language in it. And from that day forward, I realised what that gap was. It was my mother tongue.
Mandy, I remember you said that you have got German background.
Yes, I've got German background on my mum's side, and she really supported my Aboriginal identity, and she always encouraged that. People have actually said to my face, you don't look Aboriginal. How are you Aboriginal? What percentage Aboriginal are you? And then as an adult, I say to them, it's my identity and I choose to identify as this. It's your soul or your muruk is inside your body. It's no one else's right to ask that question.